It's your boy BIGYSNBABY, and I'm back for another video, man. Hey, man, today we got another crazy reaction video today. We got former NFL arrested in connection to his murder of his own mom. Not his daddy, his mammy. Hey, man, before we get into this, make sure I like, comment, subscribe. Join the YSN crew. If you're not in the YSN crew, you're the lamest crew in the world, bro. Make sure I like, comment, and subscribe, though. Share the video with your friends and family. Let's get into it. Flip no raps.
I got it. Doris. It's P. Sherman, 42, Wallaby Way, Sydney. Oh my gosh. I can't. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. What the? Missing? They ain't never seen Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. Don't come on me.
Why am I going to Tijuana? This is a kidnapping.
As an athlete, a coach will tell you to control what you can control, meaning to focus on your job to the best.
What the fuck did I just see, bro? Like, bro just snapped. Like, he said, why is he going to Tijuana? Nigga, why are you on the plane?
Of your ability and trusting in your teammates to do their jobs as well. Don't worry about the refs. You can't control the refs. Just play discipline, stay focused, and never lose composure. I always say that football is a great allegory for life because as an adult, it's a constant struggle to control your environment. But what happens when it feels like you can't control anything? When damage to your brain takes away your ability to control? When you can't control yourself, can't control your actions? Like, what happens then? When you retire from the game and you start hearing voices, or when the nicest guy in the world suddenly changes in his 40s, his life falls apart and then he decides to end it. Control what you can control. I really believe in that, but I also believe—
Hey, man, let me know how y'all mental health be doing too, bro. Mental health is key.
He decides to end it. Control what you can control. I really believe in that, but I also believe that some things are just beyond our control. Ex-NFL safety Sergio Brown has been in the news for weeks with a story that gets stranger, darker, and oddly more familiar with every passing day and every new piece of information. It was initially reported that both Sergio and his 73-year-old mom had both gone missing. Miss Myrtle Brown's sister and other family members have been reaching out for days via text and phone calls. Sheila Simmons, Myrtle's sister, so Sergio's aunt, said it wasn't normal for her sister to just not answer the phone. So after a few days had passed and she hasn't heard from her sister, needless to say, she started to get very, very worried. So other family members reached out and nobody could get a hold of her. So Sheila drives out to the house and things seem out of the ordinary. On September 16th, a missing person report was issued for Miss Myrtle. And that same day, her body was found in a creek behind her home. She had been badly assaulted, and the medical examiner's office determined that she'd lost her life due to injuries from the assault. So after that, it's assumed that she was then thrown in the creek in a very poor effort to cover the whole thing up. But like, who would do something like this?
It has to be the FBI that came into my house on Bob Marley's death day, which was 5/11 Agent Gas, unwarranted. They kidnapped me twice from home, the Maywood Police Department, right? Chris Football did it twice. Aaron Peppers was there the second time that it happened. It had to be the FBI or the Maywood Police. I thought Mama was on vacation in Sinaloa. That's fake news. Get the f out of my goddamn face. She retired. You want to come to me? The Maywood Police got to give me money. FBI had to do it. They got the power to do something like that. What the f is going on? That's fake news. Don't come on me.
For weeks and weeks after Miss Myrtle's tragic murder, Miss Myrtle's son Sergio was still missing. But he'd pop up from time to time on these weird videos, just strengthening the suspicion that you probably already had.
In the world of medicine, CTE is a relative newcomer. In football, we just learned about it 10 to 15 years ago. Here's what we can say. It's a progressive degenerative brain disease. CTE can also result in significant aggression and lack of impulse control.
As it progresses throughout your life, it can cause problems with cognition, problems with mood, problems with behavior. And the number one thing is changes your personality.
Don't come on me.
baby.
14 years ago, Sergio was a starting safety for Notre Dame, but today he doesn't seem to be quite the man he used to. The undrafted free agent never stuck on a roster long before an undrafted player built out a solid career. He last played for the Bills back in 2016, and after that just kinda disappeared for 6 years. Then about a month ago, Sergio and his mom go missing, and his mom is found in the creek. Then a few days later, Sergio pops up in Mexico and recorded one of the strangest videos you'll ever see.
It has to be the FBI that came into my house on Bob Marley's death day.
When the police reviewed the footage of the neighbor's doorbell camera, time-stamped shortly after Sergio's mom was killed, they saw Sergio with a big bonfire and later found out that all his mom's clothes had been burned. From the pictures that we have, man, she seemed to really enjoy putting these outfits together. You know, the lipstick, the purse, the accessories, the details of the outfits is on point. So it's pretty clear that this was something of significance to her. So ignoring everything else and zooming in on the fact that they burnt all of her clothes just makes you kind of feel that this was deeply personal. That could be why he threw in the line saying he thought she was on vacation. Maybe he thought that he could convince people that she'd taken the clothes with her. At this point, it hasn't been proven that Sergio was the killer, but it's not looking good. Now, when the family showed up looking for Ms. Myrtle, they told the neighbor that Sergio wasn't himself the last few months. He was actually, quote, out of his mind, which could be a detail that's really important in this case. So if you're wondering why I'm covering this like a CTE case instead of just a crazy murder case, it's for multiple reasons. Like, I know I'll get accused of just jumping to the CTE conclusion every time an ex-NFL player do something crazy, but I mean, yeah bro, we've seen these odd videos before of guys trying to convince us that everything is fine, but everybody watching the video knows one thing, and that's that something is terribly wrong. And then the quote from the family saying he's been acting out of his mind for the last few months. While it's not 100% proof, it's very consistent with other CTE cases.
The number one thing is changes your personality.
So if you've been paying attention, there's definitely patterns to observe. But to be fair, it's unclear at this point just what kind of person Sergio was before all of this happened. So it looks like a CTE case, but that remains to be seen over the coming months and years. The court case will uncover a lot of other details, and while you can't confirm CTE until after a person passes, there has been progress made in developing a test to diagnose CTE amongst the living. Sergio seems to fit the bill, but other ailments exist like bipolar disorder and things of that nature. CTE can cause those issues, and if it doesn't cause them, it can make existing issues worse. It's also obviously possible that CTE or another disorder has nothing to do with this. There's definitely a possibility, but based on what we know now, the drastic change in behavior suggests that something's going on there. Rest in peace to Ms. Myrtle, man. I cannot imagine like what that family's going through trying to decipher all this stuff. It's that dark side of football that gets real scary and real sad, bro, and it happens more often than you think. So the first clip that I've been playing little bits and pieces of is Sergio in Mexico, where he apparently fled. After his mom's passing, he seems to be evading the law, but if you look at him, he seemed like he just chilling on vacation. In this clip, you can see Sergio telling his side of the story, or his version of what happened to his late mother. The most shocking part of the video is not even the story that he seems to be just making up as he's going along. It's the lack of emotion he feels when talking about it. Like, according to Sergio, he just found out that his mom had passed, but he doesn't seem to feel anything, bro, other than desperation, as he seems desperate for people to believe his story. His only concern seems to be that he didn't do it. Maybe the FBI did it, or the police department did it. And that would raise a lot of questions like, why would they do it? Why didn't they get you? Why weren't they caught on the doorbell camera? But most importantly, why don't you feel any emotion after you just found out what happened to your mom? When I first came across this, I tried to look past what seemed like a made-up story, and I tried to give it a chance before making a snap judgment. But the lack of emotion just feels psychopathic. You should be curled in a fetal position, but you're out at a bar. Now, with that being said, some people do act out when they feel grief, and I've seen that before, so I do have to acknowledge it. But I gotta say, man, this does not feel like that. But we still gotta acknowledge that we don't know what happened. A few days after the first video, he was spotted still partying and having a good time just days after his mom's passing. Apparently, he's been out there since September 19th, just 3 days after Miss Myrtle was found dead. The Mexican law enforcement have been tracking his whereabouts pretty much since he arrived like about a month ago. And once the Illinois authorities put out the arrest warrant, Mexican law enforcement immediately deported Sergio. On the way back to the US, he caused a disturbance on the plane, and apparently he had to be threatened by the captain of the plane. Now he's made it back to the US and he's officially in custody as he's being charged with the brutal murder of his own mom. The first court hearing is set for November 13th, and I'll be interested to learn more information over time. Was Sergio always the type that might do something like this, or was he at the point where he had no control over his mind? Technology is moving forward, but it seems to be moving slow. The sooner we can diagnose CTE amongst the living, the better. Only then do I think they could truly treat it to really get these guys the help that they desperately need. Because until then, it's like, bro, they just gonna keep hurting themselves and the people closest to them. Rest in peace, Miss Myrtle.
Hey man, rest in peace, Miss Myrtle. Tell me how y'all feel about and how his cases might go. Do y'all think he did it? And how do you feel about the situation? Because I feel like it's a weird situation. You went to New Mexico 3 days after your mom was murdered, and then you ain't been back since they released the arrest warrant. Seems kind of fishy right there, but I don't know, man. I really don't know, man. I feel like, also too, you know, the NFL could do some shady shit behind his back, but I don't know, man. Y'all list y'all opinions down in the comments. Tell me if y'all want more Flimmo Raps videos. And